Alright, I thought I'd make this video because I've been getting a lot of people on the comment section talk about this very topic, and it seems as though a lot of people are misled. So I'm going to give you my opinion on this topic. You can tell by the title of this video that a lot of people think that squatting every day is going to kill your knees. It's going to absolutely break your knees. It's going to put you in a wheelchair. I've had probably 50 people have conversations with me on the comments about why squatting every day is bad for your knees, why going ass to grass is bad for your knees. The first thing that I want to talk about, and the first thing that comes to my mind, is that don't you think that after 400 days, I've done 400 days, the book is almost full, 400 days of squatting every day. Now, don't you think that inflammation would have begun already? It's been over a year now. Don't you think that process would have started in my knees to tell me that I'm doing something wrong? Inflammation starts very, very soon after. If I was to punch you in the face, the swelling wouldn't start 5 years after. It would start pretty much right away. If I pinched you, if a bee stung you, if something happened to you, to your body, inflammation starts pretty much immediately. And then soon after, you get pain due to swelling and things like that. So don't you think that after 400 days, I would have some sort of negative effects of squatting every day if the thing was bad for me, if going ass to grass was bad for me? The thing is, a lot of you guys are telling me that squats are bad for your knees. You guys are going to parallel with a belt and you're complaining about knee pain. I'm going raw, ass to grass every single day and I don't have any knee pain. You guys have heard some videos that I put up about my knees clicking, and I've continuously said that there's studies to show that knee clicking is benign in the absence of pain. So it's just gases escaping in the synovial fluid, right? There's fluid within, and as you're going through the motion, sometimes some gas gets trapped and then gets thrown out to the other side of the chamber, if you will. It's benign. You can look this up by yourself. But there seems to be this bro science in the industry, in the fitness arena, that just won't die, go away. A lot of you guys have not read a single thing about the said topic, about knees and ass to grass and all of that. You guys are going purely off of bro science. A lot of you guys are just going what you heard in the gym. One of you guys said the other day, keep your ears open. Keep your ears open and you'll know the answers. No, man, most people are misled. Most people don't have the answer. If everyone had the answer, you would have 100 people winning gold medals every single day. But you don't. There's only a few that win gold medals. And the few that win the gold medals are doing something completely different to the rest of the pack. So if you continue to do what the pack is doing, you're going to be just like the pack. You have to separate yourself in some way. So there's plenty of examples in the world why squatting every day and why ass to grass is not bad for your knees. In fact, it's probably true the other way around. Shearing forces are probably the greatest at parallel. And I'm probably wrong. It's probably even worse at a quarter squat. So when you go full all the way down, the forces are probably the least, even though studies say it's probably the same as parallel. I would argue that it's probably the least because you are resting your femur on your calf. And so there is like a suspension system there happening, and there is not such a sudden change of direction, all on the ligaments of the knee, because you are having suspension between the hamstring and the calf, and that helps you kind of bounce out of the hole. Some of you guys are purely relying on musculature and ligaments to reverse that motion from going down to parallel and then bouncing back up. I just wanted to say this because I clearly, a lot of you guys feel the same way. I mean, there's a lot of you guys who say, well done, this is awesome, this is how squatting should be. So a lot of you guys recognize that this is how squatting should be, but there's a whole lot of guys who are basically arguing with me, saying that I'm going to end up in a wheelchair. I have people personally in my life who are kind of like in their 50s and 60s who have trained once upon a time. They've got like arthritis to their knees, blah, 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 blah. And when I asked, they trained back in the day. When I asked if they squatted, they say, yeah, I squatted. Did you squat ass to grass? No way, man. I would have been in a wheelchair by now. So there's like this misinformation going around that range of motion is bad for us. Range of motion is required for us. The joint is built in a way to take range of motion. What makes you think that we're built this way, but we should only go to about 90 degrees? It does not make sense. Absolutely doesn't make sense. And the fact that I've been squatting for a year and my knees feel great, I've never felt stronger in my knees, says something, man. It completely says something. But anyway, I encourage you guys to look around, read around. I mean, a lot of this stuff comes down to weight as well. Like, obviously, if I was going to parallel or quarter squats, I could probably load the bar a bit more. Clearly, when you go ass to grass, you have to take less on the weight. It's impossible to go all the way down and get in some of those extreme knee and hip angles and take the same amount of weight. A lot of guys have said, "Oh, just load the bar, put on a belt and go to parallel, and you'll be able to do 200." The point is not the weight. The point is the form. Movement is sexy when it's done correctly. We've all seen people who are like 300 kilos squatting 400 kilos. I don't know about you guys, but that is not impressive to me at all. This is somebody that's not even squatting double body weight. The figures are wrong. Obviously, there's no 300 kilo people walking around. Some of the strongmen are 200 kilos, like Eddie Hall. The dude deadlifted what it was, 501 kilos, but he weighed like over 200 kilos. Fully unhealthy. The guy had to be on a freaking respirator straight after the lift. Like, the guy's at the worst point of his life in terms of health. That is not sexy to me, man. Like, the point to me is to be like an athlete, like this guy, right? Like, lean, he can run, he can jump, he's strong. Like, that is cool. Like, maintaining a healthy body while performing at a greater level. Of course, I can just eat a whole bunch of food and I'll be squatting maybe 250 in 6 months' time, and I'll weigh 120 kilos. That is not a trade-off I'm willing to take. So anyway, range of motion is key. Form is key. I encourage you guys to shave off some of the kilos and go back to full range of motion. I feel like you will feel a lot better. Your joints are going to feel a lot better. And I encourage you to do it every day. Now, when I say squat every day, I don't, like, you guys have said to me, "Oh, the bar's moving really slow today," or "You're feeling really weak today." You're not going to see record lifts from me every single day. In fact, you're probably not even going to see it once a fortnight. Most of the time I'm simmering. I've told you guys this before. Like, the point of squat every day is not, to me, is not to kill myself every single day. It's not sustainable. I go purely on auto regulation. If my body's telling me there's a pinch in the right hip, I don't load the bar up, man. Like, I stop there. You have to think. The body's not your enemy. You are not smashing your body and forcing adaptations. You're working with your body and you're trying to get stronger. If you ignore some of the signals that are coming from your body, you're going to pay a hefty price for it. So squat every day means you squat every day. That doesn't mean you max every day. I would have called it max every day if that was the case. You can't go 400 days of maxing. So some days I hit 170 and someone said to me, "Oh, you haven't improved in a year." Mate, that is not my max. That is not my max. Every single day is not my max. So today I hit 170 on day one of the squat every program, 160. Well, that day, that was a max. Today is not a max. You guys get it twisted, man. Like, you're basically seeing a video and you're like, "Oh, this guy hasn't improved at all." Have you not thought about what I've done the day before, about the back offsets, about the small off, about the residual fatigue that I have? There are things that play behind the scenes. I'm not just doing one rep every day and you guys are like, "Oh yeah, today he's weak, so that means his trajectory is down." You take a month cycle and you look where you are. You take 2 months cycle and you look where you are. It's more complex than this, but I appreciate that you guys, some of you guys are new to this and don't understand. Instead of getting hostile in the comments and trying to force yourself, just open your eyes and understand that you might not be the most intelligent person in the world. And you might not be the expert in the field. Neither am I. But to come with hostility and to come, with your fists up and argue and be like, "Nah, man, you're going to smack." Just let's have a cool, calm conversation about the topic. I'm all for that. But keep the insults out, man. Let's just work together. So, squat every day means you don't max out every day. I'll tell you something. I'm a nurse in ED. I work with sick people every day. There's people snapping this shit up every single day. And I know for a fact that when people have hip replacements or knee replacements, we don't keep them in bed rest for 7 days. We don't. Oftentimes, we have them ambulating, or we get them out of the bed and walking around the ward pretty much the next day. Sometimes even that afternoon if they had it in the morning. We load them up with pills, get rid of the pain, and we get them up. Why do we do that? Because there's research to say that bed rest is really, really bad. Clots can form, people can get pneumonias, bed rest is really, really bad. So what we do is, and also recovery is prolonged. So what we do is we get people out of bed, circulation, right? Blood, circulation, oxygen, nutrients, waste, moves around with circulation. If you go into bed rest and you don't move a joint, that joint is not getting any nutrition and the waste is not going out. So the worst thing you can do after a heavy ass squat day is to sit in the bed or by the pool or whatever and just chill. That is the worst thing you do because you're not getting nutrition and waste products out of that joint or into that joint. So circulation, blood pumping is what you need. And how do you do that? You do the activity that you did the day before. You keep doing it. Obviously, there are different intensity levels and volumes. So today I might have had a really hard day. Tomorrow, that doesn't mean I just rest. Tomorrow I come in and I just do maybe 50% or do something. You know, you guys can ask me questions about that later on. Maybe I can make a video on how to approach that. But the key is to keep doing what you want to do. My sport doesn't exist, but my sport is the squat. I love the squat. That's my goal, to improve the squat. So I want to do my sport every single day. Kind of like Steph Curry or LeBron James, they shoot the ball every day, they work on dribbling every day. You work on your skill every day because you want the neural pathways to be crisp, clean, and just ready to perform every single day. Like an artist. An artist doesn't take 6 months off and forget how to freaking draw. You do it every single day. But you don't draw a Mona Lisa every day. But you revisit the skill. So you need to do it every single day to help the joints get blood. I've said this in the past, and I've said it in the comments. Joints are not very vascular places. You know, joints, like your knee, doesn't have a whole bunch of capillary networks, veins, and arteries feeding it, like muscle. Ligaments are not perfused all that well at all. So the way they get nutrition is through the synovial fluid. So there is basically, your knee basically has all this fluid around it inside. And that fluid, through diffusion from adjacent tissues, gets nutrition from from the other muscles and the skin and whatever. Through diffusion, waste products come out, nutrition comes in, and they kind of get it through a secondary circulation, if you will. So they don't get direct blood flow. So muscle, even when you're resting, will recover, but joints won't. So joints only get nutrition and circulation through movement. Literally by doing this, fluid is washing around in my joint, and the joint is happy because it's getting replenished and getting other shit out of there and repairing. So this is why Squat Every Day really works. By the way, if you guys haven't read a book by a fella called Matt Perryman titled Squat Every Day, I highly recommend you read that because all of my ideas come from this. I'm not some guru that's come up with this. I've read this is recent kind of philosophy of training, even though Matt Perryman is an English fella. He got some of this stuff from the Bulgarians and Russians and whatever. So your joint gets circulation through movement, which is why it makes sense to squat every day. There are the recovery. It's already 12 minutes. I'll say this one last thing. There are different recovery periods for different tissue in the body. Muscle recovers quicker than ligament because what I just said, circulation, perfusion. So muscles can recover without anything because they're really, really vascular. There's blood everywhere. We know that when we do the pump, right? So they recover really quickly. Ligaments take a longer time. So if you were to squat twice a week, you are completely replenishing. You are completely replenishing the muscle because the muscle is really perfused, and you're not replenishing the ligaments. And so you come next time around, your muscles are ready and stronger, and the ligaments are not ready and stronger because the ligaments need frequency. The muscle needs heaps of rest. And so you have a point, if you just extrapolate that over 6 months, you have rising and rising and rising and rising strength levels of the muscle, and the ligament is just lagging behind because the ligament needs frequency, right, to recover from. And so eventually you get really, really strong muscle and really, really kind of relatively really, really weak ligaments, and then injuries happen, ligaments start hurting. So how do you address both things? Well, you still work your muscle, and you rest it because you can work on the intensity and the volume, but you have the frequency every single day to address movement for the ligaments. So you are moving every single day, but it maybe once or twice a week you're really pushing hard. So you're addressing the muscle hypertrophy, the muscle perfusion, and recovery, and you're also addressing the frequency that the ligaments need to recover. That's why movement every day works. Just look at nature, extrapolate nature. We don't do anything once a week. We do shit every single day. Your systems don't stop. Your systems need to continue. It's just variations of the said thing. So I know it's a lot of abuse to your brain in terms of bro science and all the stuff that you heard, but I felt the same way when I started reading this stuff. You have to rethink biology. You have to rethink how things work. Biology is training. Training is biology. So if you want to learn about body systems, you got to learn about the laws of nature. Things don't work the way the bros say. and especially in the field of bodybuilding, which has completely destroyed the landscape of all training in the natural arena, because we have just completely been misled. If you're jabbing your butt with full of juice, everything that I've said completely changes. All those times completely change. I'll say this one other thing. The reason why people blow bicep tendons when they are deadlifting is because there is a technique fault, without a doubt, and there's also a imbalance between muscle and its tendon strength. A lot of these people are on juice. They're taking testosterone, they're taking steroids. So what steroids do is they get your muscles really, really strong in a very, very short period of time, relative to a natural person. And so you have a situation where the muscle is really, really strong, but the ligament stays its same strength. Like I said to you, extrapolate over 6 months, the muscle keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and the ligament just can't keep up until one moment it pops and voila. Very, very few people who are natural pop tendons of the elbow. Very, very few. So think about what I've just said. I would love to have these discussions in the comments. I love this topic. I love talking about it. Just take a chill pill and let's not abuse each other. Because I'm not speaking from my ass. I've read some things and I'm telling you guys what I've experienced. So I might be wrong. In 10 years' time, more research can come out and different ideas can come. But the difference between maybe some of you guys and me is that I'm actually putting this stuff into practice and I've got some experience. I've got some anecdote. I've done this for 400 days and I feel good. And I'm just trying to share with you guys and give you some ideas, some food for thought for you guys to maybe think about some things. But it's just a conversation, man. You know, some of you guys are getting heated. I'm not getting heated. I just ignore some of those comments that are just really heated and, you know, not nice. Anyway, guys, long video again, but hopefully it helped, and I look forward to answering some of your questions and discussing this in the comments. Peace out, guys. Cheers.